Welcome to the Latin Wealth Podcast, a podcast dedicated to educating the Latino community about entrepreneurship, investing, and business.
Yo, what's going on, Latin Wealth family? Welcome to another episode to Wealth Wednesday. Super excited about today's conversation as we got a lot to cover. And look, there's been so much going on. I've been having a hard time trying to keep up with all these different topics. I told Jeremiah we may have to do like 2 episodes a week or something like that because it's a lot. All right. So look, first thing that we're gonna hit on is U.S. and the recent challenges with Honduras and Colombia, and also China. Again, there's been a lot going on with the Trump mass deportation plan. A lot going on. We're going to cover some of it. Some countries have been willing to work with the U.S., and some countries are standing 10 toes down. We're also going to be talking about the AI war between U.S. and China continues to persist as a new platform called DeepSeek was announced this week, a new AI platform that challenges ChatGPT. When this new platform was announced, it had everybody in a frenzy. Stock market dropped. People were like abandoning ChatGPT and was, you know how it goes, right? So we're gonna dive into this new platform, and we're also gonna be talking about the Trump deportations. Jeremiah, how you feeling today? How you doing, bro?
I'm feeling informed. Uh, I'm like you though, man. Dang, I feel like we're gonna have to do 2 shows a week with all the stuff that happens. Literally
It's
every
a
day
lot.
there's a lot happening. So,
Something, man. And it's
so
crazy because I don't know if you remember when we first started doing this, we would pick out articles that maybe came out like a month ago, a couple weeks ago. Now it's like those things are outdated. They got to be yesterday's articles.
I was about to say, like, you mean 2 hours ago? Like
Right.
every day there's something happening. I mean, and that's not a bad thing. I guess it could be a good thing, but man, there's a lot. There's a
It's a
lot
lot
going
going
on.
on.
Gotta keep
A
up
lot
with it.
going on. So we're going to try to tackle as much of it as possible and in a concise way for you guys to understand what's going on and just be aware of what's going on. If you guys are enjoying these Wealth Wednesdays, if you guys are enjoying Latin Wealth, please subscribe, share this with one other person that needs to hear this. I know Instagram, we've been posting some stuff on Instagram and it's been growing on there. So we also want to grow on YouTube, and we want to continue to reach and educate and inform as many Latinos as possible. So please share with your brothers and sisters. It doesn't matter where they're from, whether they're Puerto Rican like us, Cuban, Honduras, Colombian, it doesn't matter. Share Latin wealth with them. We would love to have them part of the community. All right, with that being said, Honduras president threatened to push U.S. military out of all out of a base it built a decade ago in Central America. Country said that President Trump should carry out the mass deportation plans of undocumented immigrants from the United States. So we're gonna share a video real quick, but basically, the president of Honduras said, "Hey, yo, you guys are trying to carry out this mass deportation plan. We're gonna stand on business. We're not gonna agree to this. And not only that, but the U.S. military base that you guys built over here a decade ago, we're gonna go ahead and probably push this out and not even have it anymore." That's basically what she's saying. So I'm going to share my screen, make sure the sound is on so you guys can hear it. I'm gonna share this video so we can kind of check it out real quick and let me know if you can
Quiero
hear it.
manifestar que esperamos que
We're
la
good.
nueva administración norteamericana del presidente electo democráticamente, Donald Trump, sea abierta al diálogo, constructivo y amistoso. Que no tome represalias innecesarias contra nuestros migrantes frente a una actitud hostil de expulsión masiva de nuestros hermanos. Tendríamos que considerar un cambio en nuestras políticas de cooperación con Estados Unidos, especialmente en el campo militar, en el que sin pagar un centavo por décadas mantienen bases militares en nuestro territorio, que en este caso perderían toda la razón de existir en Honduras. Pueblo hondureño,
I'm gonna
quiero
start sharing
manifestar.
this. So you can see she is standing on business. She's not playing around. She said, "Y'all haven't paid a cent for this in
Let's
this
go.
with this U.S. military base. We don't really need this here." Um, what else? What are your thoughts about this? I have some other notes here, but I want to get your thoughts about this. Jump in here, Jeremiah.
Everybody's not going to adhere to your bullying.
That's what it is.
Um, America's been a bully for years. Or if you feel that way, why are you in America? Well, my mom brought me here, but whatever. I mean, I get it because that's the comment people are gonna say. Yeah, but I'm here. But I'm being honest. I mean, if you don't find that to be the truth, then I don't know what it is. But America's a bully. All we do is bully people. We go in with military. We'll either blow you up, or we'll do something like, or we'll cause a coup in your country and then blame it on somebody else. I mean, this is stuff that we've been doing for years, right? We're a bully. We're divisive, and me, for one, I'm not saying Honduras. Honduras was the murder capital at one time, and maybe, it's on and off the list. And so they got a lot of work to do. But could you see this president, who is progressive as she is, getting with Bukele, who's in El Salvador, and them creating like a Central America coalition and them actually working together to make their country stronger together with their resources and understanding how to leverage those resources, bringing in people, like Tesla and other group of people and other companies and, strengthening Central America. That's what I see. I see
Mhm.
the leaders of Central America starting to be stronger and say, hey, you know what? For years, you guys have looked down on us and we're done with that. Yeah, you're America. It's cool, all that stuff, but you're no better than us. And as a matter of fact, you're a hypocrite. And I like that she highlighted the hypocrisy
Mhm.
of, hey, take these people back, but here we are, we have a military base in your country that we haven't paid for. Well,
Mhm.
we're protecting you. And she's saying, well, we don't want your protection. You could just take that back where you got it from.
Mhm.
I respect that. A lot of
Yeah.
people are going to say, well, why are people leaving if your country is so great? Obviously, it's a work in progress. She's saying that. But what she's also stating is if we're keeping it diplomatic and we're speaking politics, hey, you haven't paid for this base. You want to just bring a whole bunch of people back and all that. Like, hey, she said, let's work this out in a way that's
Yeah.
friendly and diplomatic. That's what she's saying. Not that we don't want to take our people back, but the way you're doing it and the way you're gathering them up, the way you're treating people, she's saying she doesn't agree with that. So she's not cool with it. And I respect it. I hope more
Yeah.
countries do it.
Yeah. And you have to think about, and I don't know the exact number, but in his plan, it's gonna be he plans on millions, right? Am I misquoting that? Like he's planning on deporting millions of people,
No,
right?
it's yeah. He said um documented and undocumented.
Right. So my point with that is if you I don't know, even if you put in 500,000, if you send back 500,000 people back to this country, those people like that's how do you think that's going to affect their economy? How do you think it's going to affect their social system? Now they have to figure out like what to do with all these people, right? So there has to be a more effective plan opposed to just me just dumping all these people over here and saying you deal with it, right?
And the juxtapose to that American people are going to say, well, why do we have to take care of them? Well, here's the thing: a lot of these people are taking care of themselves. It's not just criminals
True. Yeah.
that are being deported and being gathered up. These are regular working people who, by the way, cannot receive income tax. They cannot receive Social Security, so they're not draining any of your money. As a matter of fact, they pay into taxes. They don't pay taxes because they're not. Yes, they do. When they purchase,
Right.
cars, when they purchase food, when they do all that, right, they pay tax on everything that they purchase. They're paying taxes. So that money is going into our economy. Okay. The work that they do, as we spoke on, is in places and in sectors that you don't want to work in. Most
Mm,
Americans don't want to work in those
that's a fact.
conditions
Come on,
or receive the
we
pay
can't
that they.
we gotta like and people try to fight that fact. Come on, you
Come
can't
on,
fight
man.
that.
You're not going to work those jobs. So what are you complaining about?
Come on.
These are like C-suite executives and plant workers and stuff that have good jobs and good unions and everything complaining about jobs picking vegetables and fruit in the field.
Yep,
You're not going to
yep.
do that work, but they do, and they do it with pride. They take care of their families. They do excellent jobs. They're hard workers. That's not the only jobs they have. I'm not limiting them to that. I'm just saying a lot of the jobs that people are talking about aren't jobs that you would want to do. And to gather up a group of people for no apparent reason other than xenophobia because you don't like them because they're different than you, right? I don't know, man. It's weird. It's very strange. And like I said, I hope more countries take this stance and say, no, we're not, we don't play with your bullying,
Mm.
you know. Shouts out to Honduras.
And so one other point to get people may ask, or people may even question, like, hey, is this a risky move for Honduras, such a small country? They depend on the United States as its largest trading partner. Now, what's
Yeah.
interesting, sure, that's a risk, absolutely. Recently, Honduras says that Trump's deportation plan could push it closer to have a relationship with China. Now, what's recently came out is experts say so far little has come from Honduras' decision to ally itself with China, though Honduran officials say a trade agreement is in the work. The two countries signed an agreement worth the equivalent of about $276 million last spring to build educational infrastructure in Honduras.
Didn't we just speak about that last week?
Yep.
I said every single country that you alienate and that you bully, right? What they do is they get together and they go to the BRICS nations because they won't bully them. And it gives them ample position. Russia, China, these countries have been trying to get position, right, on this side of the world for the longest time. And that's what you're obviously providing them. This is why I said you can't bully people. These countries, you can't do these type of things because you alienate people. When you bully people, they go to the other side. They go get a different
Hmm.
protector. And it's people that you don't want on this side of the world. Well, it doesn't matter. We'll just nuke them. That's not the answer to everything, man. That's what like you
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? It's such a violent
It's always
mentality.
like
Like, it's
I think it
primitive.
was I think it was somebody from the Trump administration that tweeted and then deleted like, yeah, you guys ain't seen nothing. Like it's always got to be something violent.
Why
He
is it
ended up
violence?
deleting
Why
it,
is it
but
out? People like, because that's the only thing they understand. No, that's not all humans understand. What it is America's taking things by brute force. They took Puerto Rico, they took Hawaii, they took like right. You just take stuff by brute. That's what you do. The country, as a country, we just take things. We just go take it just because we can, right? Under the guise of protection, under the guise of freeing the people in democracy. Every type of form of government doesn't work in different areas because of cultural differences. You can't force your culture on other people. And we've been doing that for freaking, right? I mean, early back
Mhm.
in the years, what did you have? You had England, you had Spain, you had Portugal, you had France, right? Belgium, you had the European countries that did the same thing. America just took over where they left off, doing the same thing, imperialism, forcing our what we feel and what we right. Like that's not, I don't know, man. I keep wondering when are we gonna get to the point where you try to actually make trade or be diplomatic or teach people or say, hey,
right,
we want to find, let's find a way to keep people in your country. Can we create some trade programs for your people in your country? Maybe there's an infrastructure issue. We can work on that. We can teach, hey, we'll do a STEM class from Microsoft. Like there's so many ways that you can help build up countries. But what we'd rather do, and we need to focus on ourselves, but what we'd rather do is just get violent with people.
right,
That's what I always
right.
see. Government, if you do it, I'll tariff you, and if that doesn't work, we'll send troops.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. That's maybe this is the exact reason why I'm not a president, but I would assume if I was in that position, I'm focusing on building relationships, not
There
trying
we
to
go.
tear them down. That's me. That's just my personality. But again, I'm not a
Great.
president. You know what I'm saying? But would you be surprised? And maybe we can talk this through of a country like El Salvador comes out and says, you know what, we're putting together an initiative and we want to welcome back our people that are
No,
being deported. And
no,
we're going to
it's
put together a program and we want you
yeah,
guys to come back to your
sure,
homeland. Let's build it
sure.
up. Let's do something, you know.
I mean, Puerto Ricans weren't, they didn't, I mean, they didn't immigrate, right? Because we're American citizens, but there's more Puerto Ricans in the United States than in the island. But
Hmm.
there's programs now to say, okay, come back. the
Very good.
diaspora. It's time to come back and bring that talent. I could see the same thing with like Bukele is that progressive. So he'll get ahead of it. You don't have to deport anybody. We'll welcome them back. And if you get ahead of it in that, in that manner, that changes the narrative on the situation. And then Trump has to figure out how he's gonna bully Bukele. How do I get control of it? Because now Bukele is taking control of the situation and said, no, we actually opened it up. I got programs set up for them. You guys are welcome back. Just come on back. No jail time, no whatever, right? Obviously, a criminal, you got to serve what you serve. Regular people, come home. We got jobs for you. We have programs. No need to be in America.
I would not be shocked that happens.
I wouldn't either. Well, let me say this. Honduras, Bukele obviously with El Salvador is very progressive. Honduras standing on business. I thought Colombia was gonna stay. I thought that was gonna last longer, man. But
No, let's jump into that. Let's jump into that. So, look, do you want to complete your thought? My bad, I cut you off.
No. I just thought they would. I thought it would. I mean, thought it would last longer. I thought that they would. I thought they would be more like Honduras.
So the White House says that Colombia agrees to take deported migrants after the Trump tariff showdown. All right, that was the headline. That was the title of the article. Now, hours after President Trump threatened steep tariffs on import and other sanctions on a longtime U.S. partner, Colombia has accepted flights of deported migrants from the United States on Sunday. Now Trump had ordered a visa restriction, 25% tariffs on all Colombian incoming goods. And then he said it would be raised in 1 week to 50%. All right. And so this was a message that was put out. These measures are just the beginning, Trump wrote on his social media platform. We will not allow the Colombian government to violate its legal obligations with regards to the acceptance and returns of, he says, criminals they force into the United States. That's a direct quote from President Trump. Colombia said, you know what? We're not fooling with these 25%, these visa restrictions, this potential 50% in 1 week. Let's go ahead and come to an agreement. Like you said, the United States is playing bully ball, right? And so one last thing, and I'm gonna let you jump in here. Colombia accepted 475 deportation flights from the United States from the year 2020 to 2024, fifth behind Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, and El Salvador.
Say this. If I was Colombia, I would have tested him. Let's see if he does it. We'll see if he doesn't. Because I think, like we were talking before we started recording, but I would have tested him to see if he's going to do it. Oh, he'll do it. Okay. Then we'll see what the lobbyists have to say. Because there's no way Starbucks and all the rest of the coffee companies that are receiving that major, right, export from Colombia, you think they're going to pay that extra 25, 50% on their product? How long do you think that'll continue? How long do you think before American public gets mad because their favorite macchiato or frappuccino went up $1.50, $2?
Easily.
Right? So I would have tested them. Let's hold out. Let's see which you want to do it. Let's see, right? And then when they come back and we do the press conference and you come ask me what's going on, and I say, well, that's President Trump. So the American people, is you're upset because you're paying an additional $2 for your Starbucks. That's your president. You could talk to him. And that's exactly how I would have played it. I mean, maybe that's strategy. And they're like, oh, he'll do it. Yeah, he'll do it. That's fine. But how long would he do it before he yielded? I guarantee you, coffee as big as it is, Starbucks as big as it is, Starbucks is freaking huge. Has a lot of power, more than what people think. And like, hey,
that's the key right there. Not only are they a business, they make money, they got power.
They have a lot of power. So you don't think somebody would have, they definitely would have sent someone to the White House like, look, you got to cut this out. Whatever you got going, embarrass them or whatever, and Trump will, all these idiots, whatever, he'll do so, right? Whatever you need to do to make yourself feel good about your hubris and your ego, go ahead and do that. But you're going to have to cut this out. And so if I was Colombia, I wouldn't have yielded. I just would have, waited to see how long you gonna hold out.
And they didn't hold out for very long. I think he announced it Sunday, and then Sunday night they were like, okay, we'll go ahead and take these.
They been because well, that's what I'm saying though. But so I love my people. As Latinos, we got to do better with strategy. We need people around us that understand holistically, right, the economics of things and the way things work. Because I would have sat and told the president, let him. Just let him do it for 2 weeks, and we'll see where that goes. I saw they asked the Argentinian president what he feels about Trump or whatever. He says that he feels that he understands economics, which I would say I'd have to agree. I think Trump does understand economics. Do I think that he says crazy things and his a lot of his plans and stuff is outlandish? Yes, of course I do. But I also think it's for shock value. And what it does is create such a wild
Mm-hmm.
ceiling that then when he comes in with the actual plan that's below that, you're okay
Mm,
with
that's
whatever he
good.
brings to the table, right? It's a
That's
tactic.
good.
It's
That's good.
it's good psychology, and he's and
Yeah.
he's he's good with psychology. He's good with marketing. He's good with psychology. We've seen that. So I won't take that from him. But yeah, the diplomacy part is something that we need to work on, and that's just
Yeah.
us. We
Yeah.
got to work on it as a country. Like you,
Mhm.
here's the thing: 20 years, America won't be the top country. China's gonna be the top country. It's inevitable. It's already we owe them way too much money. Like I keep saying this, people, no, we can no, it's done. It's already that's done. We're illiterate as all heck in America. We don't read, we don't like it's right. It's just levels to everything. They're
Mm.
very structured and they're like everything is structured with them. They got companies with 500-year plans, right? Like 200-year plan. Like you can't even get your CEO to figure out what he's gonna
Bro,
do for the next quarter, and they got
next
a 200-year plan. Come on, man.
insane.
It's chess and
Insane.
checkers. Like so that's I mean I get it, but I don't think it'll be as bad as what people believe. Some people believe it'll be super horrible, but at the same time, nobody thought America was going to be the number one country, but we were for almost 300 years now.
Mm.
But like Rome, empires
Yep.
fall, man. They
They
rise,
fall.
they fall. That's how it goes.
I'm really curious of how often do these countries like a Colombia or El Salvador, do they communicate with each other? Do they
All the
advise
time,
each other? Yeah.
all the time, all the time. I
I would
believe
think that's what I would do is I'm picking up the phone,
I'd
Colombia, and
call
I'm asking,
Bukele.
yeah.
If I had economic basis of things, or the Argentinian president, I think he's more in favor of Trump. He likes Trump, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. He's brilliant. Argentinian president is like an economist, so I would reach out. I'd be like, hey man, what you think? And just to see what you get. And I think that the Latin countries they should do that. It's no different than what America and the European Union does, minus Trump. When Trump's in,
Mm,
he doesn't consult nobody, but every other president when they're in, they usually, they go to NATO, they go to the European Union,
mm,
they ask, that's our allies. So we say, hey, how would this fare? What do you think about this? How does this affect you guys? Right? I mean, yeah, I think they should
mm,
do it. Think about it. A
okay.
South American Union, that would be Central South American Union, that would be great.
Mm, yeah, 100%. Something else that's great that just came out, we're going to
What happened?
transition a little bit, is DeepSeek.
Man.
ChatGPT, new competition. Let's get into it a little bit. All right, so for this segment, we're gonna nerd out just a little bit. So just stay with me. I'm gonna kind of break down what DeepSeek is, some details about it. But look, DeepSeek caused all sorts of waves over the world on Monday as one of its accomplishments that it had created a very powerful AI model for far less money than the AI experts thought was possible, right? So raised a lot of questions, including whether U.S. companies were even in competition in AI anymore. All these questions were happening these past couple of days. So tech stocks dropped. Giant companies like Meta and Nvidia, were forced to ask a bunch of different questions about the future about their company. And this all became because of a little known Chinese artificial intelligence called DeepSeek. Now, if you guys are familiar with ChatGPT. If you log into Deeps or you type in deepseek.com, you go to their website, it pretty much is the same layout. It's just pretty much the same. The way you use ChatGPT is the way you're going to use DeepSeek. Now, DeepSeek is a startup funded and owned by a Chinese stock trading company from High Flyer. That's the name of the company. And the goal is to build AI technologies along the lines of OpenAI's ChatGPT or Google's Gemini, right? By 2021, DeepSeek had acquired thousands of computer chips from the U.S. chip makers NVIDIA, which are a fundamental part of any effort to create powerful AI system. Now, just a little bit more detail about this, right? So now what's crazy about this company is typically the world's top companies typically train their chatbots with supercomputers that may use as many as 1,600 chips or more. DeepSeek engineers said that they only need about 2,000 NVIDIA chips. So, what we know today, some of these big platforms, they use about 1,600 chips. DeepSeek, only 2,000 chips. And not only that, they're doing it at a fraction of a cost. It was estimated that they only need about $6 million in raw computing power to train their new system, which is roughly about 10 times less than what Meta spent building its latest AI technology. So I say all that to say that supposedly it's a lot efficient, you're using less chips, and it's a lot cheaper. It only needed about $6 million, which is 10 times less than what Meta spent. I know that was a lot, but Jeremiah, what are your thoughts? How you feeling about this? I haven't got the chance to use it because every time I log in, it says the servers are down or just it's just too many people using it. I just can't use it. So eventually we'll get to the point we'll be able to use it, but personally I haven't got the chance to check it out.
I've used it. It's cool. I like it. There's two different versions. There's a standard version, whereas it'll just obviously like ChatGPT, you input a question or a prompt and then it gives back the information. And there's also um, another version where it allows you to see the way the actual AI thinks.
Hmm.
You input the question and you'll see it thinking. It'll write out in transcript what it's thinking and
Yeah.
how it's processing to give you, whatever answer it is that it's trying to give you. So that's pretty neat. I've gone back and forth with it. One of the issues that it has is ChatGPT obviously integrated fully in the American system. Internet, as far as the relativity of like being updated, ChatGPT is fully integrated into our internet, so you can ask it relative questions about today. DeepSeek, you can't. Its information stops at July of 2024.
Interesting. I didn't know
That's
that.
something I, played around with, noticed that. So that it's cool, but it isn't
Yeah.
ChatGPT because ChatGPT
Yeah.
is fully integrated and it's up on point like right now. Also share feature. They may want to add that like a share link because you can take
Mm.
ChatGPT, like my 4.0 model, I can send a link to my email and prompt wise, font wise, everything comes in the same outlay.
Mm.
Because if you try to copy stuff out of DeepSeek, it
Yeah.
gives you all it
It's
gives
all
you the
funny.
paragraph signs, the number sign, right? So it gives you the actual fontation
Mm.
um, on it. So these are just a couple of things that they might want to think
That's
about,
good.
right?
That's good.
Biggest thing. Now let's go back to the actual cost and the efficiency of it. DeepSeek is cap. They're lying.
Mm.
Why do I say that? Well, let's look at it. They have the second tier, and it's been confirmed. NVIDIA said they don't know how they got them. Whatever. Whatever. Second tier, right, of GPUs, not Blackwell or whatever that the first tier of NVIDIA's chips,
Hmm.
but they have the second tier.
They got the cheaper version.
They have the cheaper versions. Okay. Now they have 30, so they have 50,000 of those integrated into their LLM, the long language model, which is the AI. Okay. All right. 50,000 of them at 30,000 a pop. That was the price that they were charging for those. What does that cost? That's $1.5 billion. Listen, don't be lured into everything sounds really, really great, but one thing about China, they control the flow of the information, right? So it's censored information. The numbers you get are going to be skewed always because China understands the long game, right?
Mm.
And wants and understands the narrative. So China can control the narrative and say that they have a more efficient, cheaper product. What happens? Exactly what's happening right now. What
Stock
they
market.
saw the stock market do on Monday. This is a well thought out attack. It's great. China's very intelligent. These are the things that we don't do, right? As Americans, we're very uh, impulsive. We
Mm.
just do things because we want to do them. We're not patient. We don't sit and like, okay, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do this. Let me release this right before earnings. This week, Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, right? All these major companies have earnings this week. You don't think it was strategically, right, placed the week before they have earnings? And in the Monday, right, the first day that the market opens on the week of their earnings, it's bloody red. Everything's beat
Mm.
up. It's just strategy. Now, is it better? No, it's not. Not at this point. Can it be better? Yeah, they got to put some work into it.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is OpenAI, right? So they've been working on this, and so ChatGPT is it's more advanced,
Yeah.
and it's an American company, so it's better integrated into the internet and right because for the most part, Silicon Valley is the way all this stuff happened. That's in America, so it has a better relativity, right, or relevant stance when it comes to that. But
Yeah.
if they can get to that level, maybe it would be. Is it cheaper? I don't think so, but we'll never know the true numbers. That's the thing. American companies have to report their numbers. Chinese companies are owned by China. They don't
Mm.
report their financials like that. So you never know really what's what. I don't think it was cheaper. I don't think it's more efficient. I don't think it's a better product. But I think it was very strategic the way that they did it, and hats off to China for that. Very smart.
Yeah, no, that's good. And I have to agree with you. I mean, I couldn't even use it. So if I can't even use it, I can't say that it's better, right?
I mean,
I'm gonna
ChatGPT was
continue.
accurate.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I'm gonna continue to play around with it, and we'll keep you guys updated. But even ChatGPT, they just came out with the feature that we spoke about,
Yeah,
where you can, I think it's like $200 a month,
yeah.
where you can allow it to basically search for information on the web for you. Yeah, I just said that. It's a real thing. Search information on the web for you. I have to look into more of what it does, but if I'm not mistaken, it may be able to set up meetings for you and schedule out emails. But at the very least, they can search things on the web for you. So you can say, ChatGPT, I need you to search me information on these 16 different topics, and I'll go ahead and search the web for you. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
But it is a premium price that you have to pay. So with that being said, yeah, like you said, it's fully integrated into what we're already doing, and they seek what is it, DeepSeek that definitely has some catching up to do.
I agree. But I also think that just the allure and just the curiosity that they created. Shouts
Yeah.
out to them all for that, because now um and American companies needed that, right? They needed that pullback. They needed something to slap them in the face. We've been riding on a high for the past 8 or 9 months of just pure AI growth, 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 growth.
Mm,
She needed something to kind of, bring you back down to earth. Hey, NVIDIA, hey, you got like you need to focus. Make sure you're still being innovative. Make sure you got your stuff together. If you got 2 or 3 versions already ready, then maybe you should, speed
mm,
that up and get those out. But it's good.
yeah,
Competition is good. It's
it's good.
healthy. It's healthy for the market. It's healthy
I
for us. It's
agree.
healthy for us as a consumer, right? Because if you don't have it, then one group just monopolizes things and they can put a price tag that doesn't agree with the consumers. So I'm not mad at it. It's a
Yeah,
good look.
100%. Competition definitely is good. Um, yeah, if you guys enjoyed this episode, this conversation, again, do us a favor, share this with just one other person, just one person. You can text it to them, share the link. If you guys don't want to watch it on YouTube, we are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well, everywhere you listen to a podcast. And look, this is the Latin Wealth Family. We'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
These guys.